So are we on? Are we on? So. Mr. Fox of the I Refuse podcast up in here. Made it this close. Welcome to the morning show. Thought I'd give this another try. The last one I wasn't sure if it was actually working, so it was a little sticky. But I think I got the gist of it. Mr. Fox I Refuse podcast here. Welcome to the morning show. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It's early. 7:30 in the morning. 0 days without nonsense. So without further ado, I'm going to cover two things. One is continuation of a series we've had on the YouTube channel for the past year plus, Surviving Diddy series. I was waiting for the right, it was so much going on. I was like, I'm waiting for the right one. Then it's an update, second item. Update to that ATM glitch. Y'all been on TikTok too damn long. Y'all jump on some trend and think y'all done gotten over on the system. Turn out y'all was out here committing fraud. That's too funny. I'm gonna start with that one. So here we are in 2025. 2025, and y'all are out here with the foolishness. So here we are from last year. There was this ATM glitch, right? Air quotes, because some of us went to college, knew it was fraud. You fools thought it would be a good idea to bring back paper checks. Write out an insane amount of money against your account or somebody else's account, deposit the check, knowing damn well that wasn't amount wasn't in the bank account. Then probably in the same visit, because the idea was to get ahead of the bank before they caught on. Try to withdraw a, a less substantial amount. My guess is the daily limit that the ATM will let you. And thought y'all were getting free money. Well, uh, they coming for more of y'all asses that decided to follow in the footsteps of the fools from last year. JP Morgan coming for that ass. Coming for that ass. JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in America, suing more of its customers for fraud, stealing thousands of dollars. Y'all thought it was cute. We keep a trend going. JP Morgan is coming for that ass. When I tell you, home economics, if it's still a thing, should teach y'all more than just making pancakes every morning. Y'all should learn how to prepare your own taxes, educate yourself on economics, and, you know, the consequences and legal ramifications of following TikTok trends. I feel like the education, there are some parts of the education systems that should evolve to keep you fucking Gen Zs, or I guess millennials, away from the pole, away from the holding cell, and probably away from social media. At first, I was going to wait to make this part of my fucking around and find out series that's on the I Refuse podcast, wherever you get your podcast. We're up to about 6 or 7 episodes of that. But the scamming and trying to get over, they coming for that ass. So when you get to a point in life where you and your buddies, y'all go out here thinking of different ways of trying to get over it. Wasn't that long ago, y'all were running out the casino with traceable game chips and gambling chips. Not thinking, where the fuck am I going to cash these? How am I going to redeem these? Because the chips at said casino that you're running out of is only redeemable at that casino. Y'all think y'all onto something? Like the feds don't already know that game's been played before. Y'all think y'all the only ones out of the billions of people in the world trying to get over? I've said on the RFU's podcast, gaming season does not take time off. Just when I think y'all are taking it to the curb, y'all taking it to the gutter at this point. When you actually think about it, this is why there are such low limits on these ATMs when you go around. Unpopular opinion, I think I know why the daily limit is lower on ATMs inside the Beltway versus outside the Beltway. Just saying. So, if you've been living under a rock and you've been living in Amish country, no cable, no running water, no electricity, you are literally roughing it. There is a new to some folks scam or trend or some way to get over that these kids think is so exciting. Like these ATMs have cameras on them. You give people an inch, they take a football field. And when these stories come out, people are like almost siding with the customers, right? Like you see a fool over in the comment section talking about, and they still owe us a few trillion. While I will never 100% side with the bank in any situation, because when I first had a bank account, I was with Provident, and I see why the asses was local to the state of Maryland. Because had you tried the shit in other states that you tried with me, with these the overdraft fees, where they would charge you an overdraft fee if your account was over beyond 2 days. $35. Your shit can be over $1, like negative $1, negative $2, negative $5. They would charge you $35. And the banks had a way of opening your eyes. It was like, suppose you want to deposit a check. It takes longer to them to deposit a check than it does actually take money away from you. It got so bad with the overdraft fees. Provident was doing it, Bank of America was doing it, Wells Fargo was doing it, that they did away with that, but they still found a way to get money from it. These days, it's something called a user fee or an account service fee. You are literally charging me money to hold my money. If you have an account with a certain bank after X amount of years, they'll start changing shit around. And it sends you an email and it's like, who's gonna read all of that? I'm not I'm not leaving. First it was like, oh, we're gonna charge you $10 a month for a service fee. But it wasn't every month. It was as they see fit. They might as well call it as a see fit charge. Fucking WF. but you were literally charging me money to hold my money. They know damn well you are not going to keep or make money or deposit money from month to month totaling $3,000. So what they that's the workaround, right? Like you're going to charge me money if I don't deposit this much every month. This is my little backup account, pay all my bills with my main account. This second account, I deposit just enough to keep the shit on. So that didn't work. They'll try something else next year. So I would never really be on the side of the bank. I mean, you would never catch me saying, well, that's our money anyway. But y'all aren't making it easier when y'all do shit that y'all see on TikTok, fucking around with these banks. I mean, in the same environment, y'all do shit like this, and they had me thinking, like, y'all do shit like this because you were at the dinner table, you were at the barbecue or something. Your cousin that you hadn't seen since you were 12 tells a story. Oh, yeah. So I went to the bank, right? Pulled up at the ATM. I deposit money, and then the deposit slip spits out a $0 amount balance. Yo, it's something about them banks, man. Or it could be you have a grandfather who is pushing 100, still pushing theories from the Nixon era, right? Or from the 1940s. Yeah, man. So what you do is bury your money in the land. That way the government can't touch it. Something about these banks, man. Or you have a cousin that finally got a government job, right? And they're like, at orientation today, this lady representing the credit union in the building gave a really good presentation as to why we should all go with credit unions versus these corporate banks. With a little tinge of anti capitalism and, adjustable rates. You know, it's funny how in certain conversations people turn into mathematicians with a high school diploma. But I'm telling you, like, it's that kind of situation that has y'all feeling like, oh well, this is our money anyway, so why not do it? Maybe I'm an old head, but I'm like, it would be pretty counterproductive to me to commit a crime you can't afford to argue. And it's not my aspiration in life to be the next Cochran Law Firm commercial. Y'all stay down here, have nothing else better to do, get a fucking job. So the trend, like I said, started last year. Started last year. Y'all thought this was the price is right. And you think at least, the first person, when it first broke, the the person that did it was wearing a mask. But he did it in another person's bank account in the amount of $73,000. Of course, the check bounced 6 days later. It takes them a while. But by that point, he had already was able to pull out over a series of cash withdrawals, $82,000 at two different branches. Y'all don't think like checks and account numbers aren't tied to PII, like traceable information? Like they got your ass in the system already. Watched enough First 48. I watched enough of the ID channel to be like, um, this shit wasn't gonna wasn't gonna come off the ground from jump. You don't think in 5 days the bank isn't going to be like, where's our money? What 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 are we doing? What's happening, brother? Um, you don't have $82,000. You don't even have the amount that's written on the check. And the bank can come at you for a lot more than the check. And they're going to come at the person who holds the account. Like this is deeper than writing a bad check at like Papa John's. When I was down and out after the military, even though my boyfriend at the time wrote the check, it still had my account information on it. I mean, granted, I didn't use the account really that much anyway. And you could tell, and I could have proven that it wasn't me that wrote the check because that wasn't my handwriting. But when you talk about me, this isn't like a five-figure amount. This is like a little 20, $25. Two motherfuckers got to eat. Um, Apples and oranges. But y'all are doing this in New York, Texas, Miami, Florida. Florida stay in the fucking news. Um, but definitely a fuck around find out situation. Shit that you were doing over the summer last year has been biting you in the ass since last fall. You know, you you got to be down real bad to try this shit before tax season. And don't think they're not coming after the people who claim to be like professional tax preparers, presenting as part of their sales pitch. I can get you this much or this much. No, thank you. Because when the tax return is higher than what you've made in a year, the only thing you can get me is a holding cell and some handcuffs, and we're both going down. I mean, the first red flag is using paper checks to begin with, right?